Good morning. Ooh, even though it's not the morning. Good night. I guess good night just doesn't sound as right as good as good morning. Good night, good afternoon. How is everyone doing? Happy Thursday. Club going up on a Thursday, even though the lyrics are Tuesday. What's up, Spock? How we doing, Caitlin? What's up, Dad? Gawk Gawk 9000, baby. What's up? What's up, Coach AJ? What's up? How you guys doing? How you doing? How you doing? What's up, Tyron? How you doing? What's up, Joel? What's up, Brian? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, John? Who do I flex this week? DK or Najee? I'm going DK. Yo, what's up? If you want safety, play Najee, but I would go DK personally. Yo, this is the first live I catch. What's up, bro? What's going on, man? How are you doing? Are we starting Pickens? Yeah. All right. So a lot of people are going to be sitting here. Is hitting on my first cousin that weird? No. Are we starting Pickens? Yeah. I think tonight's going to be one of those classic everyone across the globe fucking panics. Oh my god, the weather. And they get so nervous about the weather, and then the weather doesn't play a fact. Let's read off the weather real quick. I'm about to go dark. We're going dark for a second. Weather report, and dude, my forehead looks giant right now. Weather report NFL. NFL weather. Snowy is expected to be 34 degrees Fahrenheit, 85% chance of snow at 8:15. Trying to find anything on the wind. The wind is what really plays a factor. 10-mile-an-hour winds, yeah, no worry. People are going to panic about this game. Don't worry at all. Play Pickens. Don't worry at all. Starting Jerry Judy tonight, yeah, it's fine. What up, what up, what up? At this point in the season, with my running backs are Achane, Henry, and Barkley, should I drop Jordan Brooks for Anthony Richardson to back up Justin Herbert? To be honest with you, unless you feel like you really want to have a backup plan for Herbert, I think holding a running back like Jonathan Brooks that could become the running back one in the next couple of weeks would probably be more advantageous to you. But if you wanted to drop him, I'm not going to sit here and be like, wow, that's a stupid decision. Coach AJ, my man, thank you for the super chat. Should I try to trade for Waddle? I have a Dunze. I'm going to keep it a buck 50 with you. I don't think Waddle's value is going to get much higher. Waddle hasn't had a good game since week one. Now, Jalen Waddle is one of the best receiver twos in the NFL. But with the Dolphins throwing the ball so much to Devon Achane, with the Dolphins throwing the ball so much to Janu Smith, with them throwing the ball so much to Tyreek Hill, there's only one ball, right? There's only so many targets to go around. Now, if the Bears end up figuring everything out, Dunze could be the kind of guy that gets 9 targets in a game, right? And Jalen Waddle's not the kind of guy that's getting 9 targets, right? He's going to get 5, right? And you got to hope that he finds the crib on those 5. You got to hope that he does something special with those 5. So I'm still going to be a fan of Waddle. I still have Waddle on my team. I'm still hoping that he plays his best. So I'm hoping that my Dolphins can get some wins. But at the end of the day, I don't really think Waddle's fantasy value is very high at all. And if I'm being honest with you, I'd say it's pretty low. It's not very good. I think that he's a great player. I think that he will succeed in the future. But this season, it kind of just seems like the jury's out on him, right? He hasn't scored more than 10 points since week one. The Dolphins, again, they want to use Janu. They want to use Achane. They want to use Tyreek. So while I love Waddle, at this point in the season, it's like they're both in that range, basically, where it's like YOLO, F it, I got to start him, Odunze or Waddle. And at this point, like, I'd rather just, like, while Waddle is significantly safer than Odunze, and I guess if you want to get like 8 points on your team, make the trade, but I would rather just hold Odunze and hope that the team really figures it out and hope that, you know, with the firing of Shane Waldron, the Bears offense starts percolating, and then, man, you might have a huge value in Odunze. So I would not look to make a trade. Thank you for the super chat, Emmanuel. Josh Jacobs with the injury or Bucky Irving. Hope all is well, Nick. I'm doing great. Sorry for the later stream today. I do work on Thursdays. I work on Sundays. So that's really why you only get like around an hour of time. I would prefer to stream for longer, but that's just not as possible. Maybe next week we'll start at 7 though. So Josh Jacobs dealing with an injury. He's questionable. I can't find anything that tells me that he's going to miss. He's dealing with a quad injury. let's just do some further research again. We're gonna go dark mode real quick for a second. Try to get something light on the screen, but it's not working. So we're just fucking some dark corner McDougal's here. Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs in December is going. Oh, that's not helpful. President. That has nothing to do with anything. Why the fuck? Where the fuck? Josh Jacobs popped up today on the injury report, which is yesterday. The good news is that he was limited. Looks like a. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're gonna sit him. Sorry that I'm in fucking dark mode right now. I'm really trying to find some more information on Jacobs because I haven't found anything when I was researching that would tell me that Jacobs was gonna miss. The running back video will be out tomorrow. Josh Jacobs, another limited practice on Thursday from 8 minutes ago. A pair of lower body injuries has resulted in a cap on Jacobs' reps so far this week. The Packers may clear up his status upon posting final practice. He should be good for his typical workload. So that's what the report is. He should be good for his typical workload. So I assume he's going to play. And if I'm assuming he's going to play, I'm 100% playing him over Bucky Irving. That report said he's good for his typical touches. So he's going to get close to 18, 20 touches in this game. Up against the 49ers in a game that could be high scoring. I like Jacobs. I mean, Jacobs hasn't been super consistent this season. I wish Jacobs was more consistent. Let's be honest. I wish he was like this bona fide top 12 running back every week, but he was running back 5 last week, 22 the game prior, 3 the week prior to that, 13 the week prior to that. I think you'd be foolish to play Bucky over him with the current news. Thank you for the super chat. You got to play. You got to play Jacobs. Do you like Rico Dowdle or Nick Chubb non-PPR? To be honest with you, in non-PPR, I would lean with Nick Chubb. I would. I would lean with Nick Chubb. I would lean with Nick Chubb. Now, Nick Chubb has not an ideal matchup tonight. Like, no one's going to pretend like going up against the Steelers is this wet dream matchup, but I do think he could have a halfway decent game. So I am going to be rooting for Nick Chubb tonight. I'm a huge fan of Nick Chubb. I would just lean with him because, again, he's better for standard, right? He's more likely to score the touchdown. Rico might get 5 catches, right? Which is going to help you out a little bit. But I do think that I'd be playing Nick Chubb in non-PPR 100%. 9-inch Nicholas Chubb. Jimmy, thank you for the super chat. Who should I start? Ricky Pearsall, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Cocker, Adam Thielen, or Amir Abdullah? Great question. Great question. So when it comes to that question, I think I would personally YOLO and play Amir Abdullah if Madison misses, and if if Zamir White doesn't play and Alexander Madison doesn't play. Now, if both do not play, that opens the door for Amir Abdullah to potentially score a touchdown. Now, when you're talking about guys like this, Ricky Pearsall could get literally 3 targets, could score 0 points like last week, right? Jalen McMillan, the targets are going to be there. The question is, can he catch them? Cocker really hasn't done much, and they're going up against the Chiefs. Same thing with Thielen. I think if Zamir White and Abdullah do not play, I would be once I guess. I would be looking to just play Abdullah because, again, I think he probably has the best chance to score a touchdown. He scored last week on the Dolphins on a couple of touches. If you're not going to play Amir Abdullah, I'm probably, like, say Zamir White and Alexander Madison play, I'm just going to play Jalen McMillan. That's what I would do. I would be playing Jalen McMillan. So write this down so that you don't forget, because this is like a deeper question than just, the average answer. So if Abdullah or if Madison, sorry, I'm like all flustered right now. If Madison and Zamir White play, the answer is Jalen McMillan. If they both miss, the answer is Amir Abdullah. That's kind of the way I would go with things. Andrew H, thank you for the super chat. Should I start Nick Chubb or Jalen Warren? My opinion on this is very simple. If you want to get 8 points guaranteed, right? You're like, you know what? I want to guarantee myself to get my 8 points. Then you play Warren, right? Warren is 100% going to get you 8 points, right? Nick Chubb could get you 4 points, but he could also get you 12. He could also get you 15. He could also get you 20, right? So there's a lot more safety with Warren, 100%. You kind of know the touches are baked in there. But the upside of Jalen Warren really isn't the highest, right? I don't think anyone's going to sit here and pretend like Jalen Warren's going to go out here and score 15, 20 points. So I would definitely go ahead and lean the way of playing Nick Chubb just for more upside. But again, if you want the safer bet, go Chubb. No, I said it the opposite way. If I would play Nick Chubb because I think there's a lot more upside, but if you want just your 8, 9 points, go with Warren. I'm going Chubb. I have St. Brown's my wide receiver 1. Who would you use the wide receiver 2? Reed, Tillman, or Jameson Williams? Also Kyler Murray or Goff. Kyler Murray and Goff are both kind of inconsistent for fantasy. I love Kyler's matchup against Seattle, so Kyler's going to be the answer up against Seattle. And then it's Reed, Tillman, or Jameson Williams. That's tough. I think I'm going to go Reed. I don't love Tillman's spot tonight. Sure, Tillman did play well last time out, so I'm not going to say that, oh, he's going to shit the bed or something. I think he's going to have a pretty decent game. But I would definitely lean more on Reed. They're all kind of up in the air options, right? Jameson Williams, Reed are kind of two peas in the pod where, hey, you really need that deep bomb catch to end up going his way. I would probably lean the way of Reed, if I'm being honest with you. I'm going Reed. I think that could be a very high scoring game against the 49ers. So I'm going to go Reed. I'm going Reed. Next question here. Oh, I thought there was another super chat. There ain't. All right. Oh, your birthday is next week, Caitlin? Happy early birthday. Ertz or Janu? I would go Janu. And again, I'm going with Reed and I'm going Kyler. Drop Pitts and Ertz for Taysom. Thoughts? Ertz and Taysom thoughts. I would rather have Pitts over Ertz. Also, Knicks or Baker rest of season? I would say Knicks. Rest of season, PPR, I'd rather have Neighbors. What's up, Nick? Greetings from Tokyo, Japan. Greetings. My lineup for this week is weak. Start Judy, Waddle, or Thielen. I'd play Judy personally, man. Greetings from Japan. That's awesome. It's always crazy, like when I talk to people, and it's like, obviously, I just assume all you guys are from the U.S., and there's been people in the past watching from Germany, all these other countries. That's truly crazy. Like, I guess Canada is probably like the least surprising one. Like, oh, you live in Canada. Like, that's not that crazy, right? Obviously, Canada to the north of me, but Japan, that's awesome, man. Hope you're. What time is it in Japan? Time in Japan right now. Oh man, it's 9:28 a.m. on Friday. So happy Friday, man. Happy Friday. That's so crazy. Yeah, go with Judy. Start Najee tonight or Dobbins, Moore, or Downs on Sunday. Have PPR. Thanks, Nick. Fins up. Thank you. I'm going Najee. I'm going Najee. Good question. I'm going Najee. Thank you, One Dose Creator, my man. I appreciate you. Kyler Murray, 360 no scope, or Big Dick Bo Nix? That's a tough question. I'm about to post my rankings very shortly on Patreon. I have Kyler ranked 5, Nix ranked at 6. What I will tell you is this might sound crazy, but I think Bo Nix is safer than Kyler Murray. Again, this might sound crazy. This might sound insane, but I believe that Bo Nix at this point is safer than Kyler Murray. It doesn't mean that you need to play Nix over Murray. I have Murray ranked over Nix, but Murray has been very in and out, up and down all season, very hit or miss. Whereas that has been not really the case for Bo Nix. So Kyler's been pretty dicey. Nix has been pretty safe. I'd lean with Kyler, though, in this spot personally. Frank, Kyler or Mahomes? Kyler or Mahomes? Great question. I would go with Kyler. Now, Mahomes is playing up against the Carolina Panthers. But the thing about Mahomes this season has been, while they've been winning a ton of games, Mahomes hasn't been putting up great numbers. Like, I have his numbers pulled up right now. Quarterback 17 last week, 11 the week prior, 4, 15, 19, 20, 17, 15, 14, 14 over the course of the season. Now, Mahomes is basically a stone cold lock to finish inside, I would say, the top 15 every single week. Whereas Kyler is going to fluctuate a lot more, right? Kyler, quarterback 4, 30, 12, 5, 25, 5, 24, 17, 1, 15, dating all the way back to the beginning of the season. But Kyler has started to be a little bit more consistent recently. And I think I would just have to go with Kyler. I have him ranked higher. The matchup is technically better for Patrick Mahomes. But again, you can only suck off the matchup to a certain degree when guys aren't performing up to snuff, right? Now, if Mahomes was going out there every single week as this top 5, top 8 quarterback, then yeah, I'd be ready to say, you know what, rock with Mahomes. I like Mahomes better. This, that, and the other thing. The matchup against the Panthers is amazing. This, again, and just like keep going on and on and on and on and on and on, right, about it. But right now, I just don't feel confident enough to do that. So I would have to say it's Kyler. Joe Burrow on bye, 16-man league. Should I play Tommy DeVito, Will Levis, Justin Fields, Bryce Young, or Gardner Minshew? Thank you, Jimmy. So I would not be playing Justin Fields because he doesn't start. Even though if you look at the red zone QBR, I believe Russell Wilson's red zone QBR is 8, which is fucking atrocious. So and Fields was a lot better in the red zone. Um, gun to my head. Gun to my head. I am probably going to go. Oh, I kind of want to go Will Levis. I'm being honest with you. I kind of want to go Will Levis. Top 20 in back-to-back weeks. He's looked better recently. I don't love the matchup though against the Texans. Bryce Young really hasn't been great. He's going up against the Chiefs. I mean, he's looked better, but that's not great. Gardner's against the Broncos. DeVito, something about DeVito, like if you look at his numbers last year, it was so sporadic. I'm trying to pull him up right now. Will this link give it to us? No, I can't find his Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito fantasy data. Let's see. Because his numbers last year were so up and down. Yeah, so he had some big games, like 17 points, 22 points. But he also had some games with like 8 points, 2 points, 0.6 points up against the Eagles. I would probably just go with Will Levis. Again, Will Levis hasn't been good. I don't think anyone should be talking up Will Levis at all. Like, I don't think anyone should be hyping up Will Levis. But in this scenario where you're kind of back against the wall without, oh, you're on vacation. That's cool. No problem, man. I would probably play. I'm just gonna go Will Levis. I just feel the most confident in him. Waddle, Worthy, Westbrook, Ekain. Thank you for the super chat. Worthy and Waddle. Now, Waddle's again. I went on a tirade about Waddle before. Waddle's fucked us in the ass so many times in a row that it's starting to hurt. But at some point, he's gonna have the big game, right? Now, when is it gonna be? Is a huge question mark, right? When is that game gonna be where he smashes? On paper, this is the game. On paper, it was the game before this. On paper, it was the game before that, right? So every single week, we try to talk ourselves into Waddle, and every single week, we end up leaving disappointed. But again, at some point, it's bound to change. At some point, it's bound to get better. So I'm just going to have to go with Waddle. The matchup is too good to argue for anyone over him. Pittman is clearly hurt. It's clearly impacting his play. I'm not saying he'd be playing 9,000 times better if he was fully healthy, but I think he would be playing better than the product that we have been seeing on the field as of recent. So, in my opinion, Worthy has the highest amount of upside, right? Worthy is the kind of guy that could score 3 points, he could score negative points, but he could also score 20 plus points. So I'm gonna lean that way with Worthy. So Worthy's got kind of be the lock in this scenario, and then I'm gonna go with Waddle and just hope Waddle has a good game for once because again, Waddle hasn't done shit as of recently, and it's super disappointing because I think we all kind of know Waddle has the ability to play so much better. He just hasn't. Like it's really that simple. He has not played good enough. He just hasn't. But Worthy's deserving of it, and Waddle. I'm leaning towards Wilson, but I'm worried because he could have a bad game. Tommy the Don DeVito. Both Wilson and Stafford are low ends. In my opinion, I agree with that. I have Stafford ranked slightly ahead of Russ, but again, it's me personally. Spock has it differently. It's by a very slight margin. JMO or Tillman, JMO, in my opinion, as well. Flex one, Dell, Waddle, Moore, Tillman. I would be playing Dell. Let's build my lineup. Could you pick 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex? Yeah, I'm just going to type in the chat. Collins, Brown, Gibbs, Achan, and Terry. Collins, Brown, Gibbs, Achan, Terry. There you go. Henry or Janu Smith. I would play Henry. Who is the running back this week? By Apocalypse, Estime, Ford, Benson, or hold out for Roshan. Yeah, I'd probably play Roshan if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, make sure you guys subscribe and join the Discord. McConkey is injured. When did that happen? Is that true? Like, is he like severely injured? I did not see that. Oh, he's dealing with a shoulder injury. Yeah, something you want to monitor. Uh, Keenan Allen or Cedric Tillman. I'm gonna go with Cedric Tillman. I'm just going to. Cedric Tillman has done more for me than Keenan Allen. I don't expect either guy to smash. If I had to guess, though, if I'm rolling the dice out there, they're both risky options. I'm going to take the risky guy that has done something for me recently, right? He's put up solid numbers for me recently. So I'm just going to believe in that, right? I'm going to believe in the heart of the cards. I'm going to believe that Tillman's going to be able to get me back for what happened last week. He's going to get right. It's a get right game for him. I expect him to get right. So that's the way I'm leaning there. I would lean with him. Cedric Tillman over Keenan Allen because again, Keenan Allen hasn't done anything for us this season. Like, let's keep it 100, right? Let's not lie. There's no need to lie about it. He just hasn't been all that productive. So that's just how I feel. Ooh. That's just how I feel. I like Tillman over Allen. Again, Allen's a great player. It's just so hard for me to trust the Bears. It's so much easier for me to trust Jameis, which is insane to say. Like, trust Jameis. Those words have never came out of anyone's mouth. Never. But I trust him more than I trust Caleb Williams. So for me, it's gonna be Cedric Tillman in PPR. Hope he finds the end zone. Tillman Debo or Tank Dell. Thank you for the super chat, Tank Deezy. Personally, official Honest Abe. That's a fire name. I love Honest Abe. Shout out Abe Lincoln. Great guy, great hat. It's got to be Debo. Now, the problem with Debo is he is one of the most inconsistent wide receivers in the game. He is one of the most inconsistent wide receivers in the game. There is no safety to Debo. He has crazy upside. He has crazy bad floor, right? He could score 3 points. I wouldn't be shocked. Terrell Owens was making fun of him today, talking about how it was pretty funny, honestly, talking about how, like, oh, he dresses all this way and he plays like shit, kind of like the old Cam Newton narrative, right? Where Cam Newton dresses like a fucking like a like a fucking Batman villain or like a James Bond villain, and he goes out there and he shits the bed and everyone makes fun of him because he looks stupid. Even though I like Cam Newton, but that's just kind of the narrative on him. It's the same thing with Debo. I would play Debo, though. I don't trust Tillman enough, and I don't trust Tank Dell enough. That's how I'm going. I'm going Debo. Debo. Later, Nick. See you, man. See ya. AB. See ya. Eddie J, thank you for the super chat. Rashad White or JT, given the matchup? Thanks, Nick. Great question. Again, I'm about to upload the rankings on Patreon, so I apologize to anyone that's Patreon. They're not up yet. My rankings have Jonathan Taylor 11, Rashad White is at 23. I'm gonna move him up. I'm moving him up. Now he's at 20. Talk him up to 19. 19 is the highest I can go. 19 is the highest I can go right now. Jonathan Taylor shit the bed last week. The matchup against the Lions isn't the best, but Jonathan Taylor is a great running back. I really think that with what's his name back? Anthony Richardson back. I think that's going to add a lot more safety to this offense. So personally, I'm going to go ahead and play Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor's better off with Anthony Richardson under center. I'm sorry that I couldn't figure that out. Yeah, the injury, Michael K, isn't that not the injury. The weather isn't that bad. That's kind of the thing in fantasy, though. It's just always going to be this way, where people are going to panic like a motherfucker about weather. It happens every year. People will panic. Oh my god, I can't play this guy. The only time I've ever truly seen weather impact a game was like that one game where it was the Patriots versus the Bills. If you remember, it was so cold. They literally barely threw the ball. I think there was like 7 passing attempts. It was Josh Allen versus Mac Jones. Might have been the COVID year. If you guys remember that game. Just an all-time crazy game from my memory where there was barely any passing. It was super interesting. I don't think that'll happen tonight. I think the weather's fine enough. So, yeah, I'm going JT over Rashad White, but it is close. It is close, though. Packers versus the 49ers, Bucks versus the Giants. No problem, man. No, you're probably a lot of people have complicated names to read. Not anyone's fault, right? I'm just an idiot, right? And I can't read things correctly. Like I could know you for years and I might still pronounce your name wrong. People pronounce my last name wrong all the time. So I don't really expect I am not shocked when I can't pronounce something. Pronunciate. Let's move Judy up a little bit in the rankings. The rankings this week look so brutal. Let me tell you, the fact that when 6 teams are on bye, the rankings are as disgusting as it gets. I don't know. There's no real rhyme or reason as to why it's this gross, but it just there is a rhyme or reason. It's because there are so many teams on bye. It just looks terrible. Like none of it looks good. Like ranking Jacoby Myers right now is currently my wide receiver 25. That is the most I'm gonna move him down. That is the most disgusting thing ever. Just saying that he's ranked that high. He will never be ranked that high probably again. Like putting some of the names are crazy. It's like Jawan Jennings is my wide receiver 16, which he deserves at this point, but it sounds crazy. Right? I have CeeDee Lamb is still ranked relatively high for me, even though I don't want to rank him this high, strictly because of the fact that everyone is on bye. There's nothing else I can do about it. Even if I wanted to rank him lower, I simply can't. Thank you guys for all the super chats. I appreciate you. Next question here. Fernando, start 3. Tillman, Reed, Puka, Debo, Sutton. Debo, Puka, Sutton. Puka is in a really tough matchup. I don't know what Spock thinks about this. I don't know what you guys think about this. Like, I don't know for sure if Quignon's going to be on Puka. I don't know if he's going to be on Cup. I don't know if he's going to go back and forth from one to the other. But this Quinyon Mitchell bastard, as a rookie, is locking up every single defensive back or every single receiver that he faces. Getting locked up. And it's not like, oh, he's getting locked up, right? Where he's nothing crazy is actually happening. No, I'm talking about like getting the strap put on your paws, getting locked the fuck up. He locked up London. He locked up Olave. He locked up Evans. He locked up Lamb. He's locking everyone up. He's throwing away the key. He had Terry McLaurin with 0 catches last week. It's scary. It is scary out here for anyone like myself who has a lot of puka bags, has a lot of cup on their teams because it really is scary. Like he is that good, this Quinyon Mitchell guy, and I don't know who he's going to shadow, if he's even going to shadow. He's going to go back and forth, what his game plan is, but whatever it is, I am going to be nervous for whoever he's up against. But I think he's going to go back and forth. So we're going to go Puka, Debo, and Sutton. That feels like the right move there. Cooler Head, thank you for the super chat. Njoku, Jameson, Dowdle, Addison, or Tillman, flex, PPR. Thanks. Great question there. My answer would be to go with Njoku, Jameson, Dowdle, Addison, or Tillman at the flex. This is going to sound, it's got to be Jameson Williams. Now, if you want a safe bet, I would probably lean with, like if I had to guess, or what the fuck am I saying? If I had to go with the safe bet, it would be Njoku, right? I think Njoku is a pretty safe bet tonight. I think Njoku is going to do well in this matchup. So I think Njoku is probably your safer bet. One second. So I think if you want to be safe, you play Njoku. If you want the most upside, you play Jameson Williams. In my lineup, it would be Jameson Williams because the upside, he has seen a little bit more targets as of recently, which does give me a slightly more of a boat of confidence in him. Again, I'm not going to bang the drum for him, though, but I do think he is slightly safer than he was, say, a couple of weeks ago. So we're going to go with Jameson Williams if you want to be safe playing Njoku. Jimmy Production, start 2 running backs. And do I start Jonathan Taylor, Stevenson, Tracy Jr.? Also, which 2 wide receivers, DK Metcalf, Harrison, or Mike Evans? Who do I start at the flex? Great question. Thank you for the super chat. So Jonathan Taylor, Ramondre Stevenson, or Tracy. Let's go with Jonathan Taylor, and let's go with, I think it's going to be Jonathan Taylor and Tracy. Let me just make sure. Jonathan Taylor and Tracy. Yeah, JT, I have 11, Tracy 14, Stevenson 16. So it's going to be Jonathan Taylor and Tracy. That's the answer there. And then the next part of the question, I'm just making sure I'm in the right spot. Yeah. So also should I trade Russell Wilson? Okay, we'll look for that in a second. So Jonathan Taylor and Tracy. Wide receiver, you're going to go Mike Evans and DK Metcalf. And at flex, you're going to go Marvin Harrison Jr. So you're going to play triple receivers. So you're going to play Marv, Evans, and DK. And then you're going to go Tracy and Jonathan Taylor. I think those are your best bets at running back. At receiver, Metcalf's very risky. Evans kind of risky too, but I think those are the guys I feel most confident in. And then Marv would be the flex. So the odd man out is going to be Ramondre Stevenson. Stevenson has been the odd man out a bunch this season. He has had games, and I'm sorry that I'm going dark mode for half a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So in my opinion, what was I saying? What was I saying? I was saying, my opinion, Stevenson has been very, very, very hit or miss this season. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. He's been very hit or miss this season, and I don't see a reason why that would end up changing magically here. So I would probably just leave him out in this question just because of that, just because of the risk that he possesses. He's still a great player. I still probably am starting him on 99.999% of teams, but in your scenario, he's getting the bench. So we're playing JT, Tracy, and we're going to play all 3 wide receivers. Kyle Singer, thank you for the super chat, my man. I appreciate you. Pick one quarterback in a flex, Tua or Love, Pearsall or Justice Hill. I would play Pearsall just because Like, Justice Hill is probably safer than Pearsall, but I don't really see Justice Hill popping off in this matchup. This just doesn't seem like the kind of matchup where he does. And then at quarterback, Tua versus Love. I have Tua 12, Love 13, so I would lean with Tua. So Tua, and I'd go Ricky Pearsall. Um, Judy or Dell. I'm going Dell again. I think Dell is going to be more valuable now with that the fact that Nico Collins is healthy. I think Nico Collins being healthy does boost the value of Tank Dell because now Tank Dell doesn't have to face up against the best receivers, this, that, and the other thing, which just gives him a safer path. Now, he hasn't really been that productive this season. I think Tank Dell, pretty easy to just say Tank Dell's a bust, right? It's very easy to say that he was a bust this season, but I do think that Tank Dell will be able to perform in this spot for him this week. So I'm going to go with him over Jerry Judy. I think, like, if you want to say Nick, who's safer, sure, I think Judy's safer, but I personally lean Tank Dell. But I just want to guarantee with my rankings before I say anything further. Yeah, I have Tank Dell 29, Judy 31. So it's basically a toss up. I'd go Dell though. Jimmy, also, should I trade Russell Wilson for Geno in that league where the quarterback is Lawrence? If you have another quarterback that you're starting every single week that you're not worrying about, I am not personally looking to make a move to acquire a second quarterback, if I'm being honest with you. I get it's frustrating that you don't have a quarterback two, but if your quarterback two is halfway competent, I am personally not looking to make a move to get a quarterback two. I don't think the value is really all that high. Obviously, if Geno was to go down, or oh, you're trading Russell Wilson straight up for Geno, that's the trade, then yeah, I'm doing that. If that's the trade, I'm doing that 100%. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. If you're trading Russell Wilson for Geno, I'd much rather have Geno. So yes, I would do that. Super chat's going crazy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100% making that trade. I was thinking too much into it. Nani, thank you for the super chat. Tillman, Leggett, Addison, Watson, Rome, pick one. It's got to be Tillman. It's got to be Tillman. I don't think I can name one reason why you'd want to play Leggett. He's got a cool name. That's the reason. That's why you play Leggett, right? I got one reason why you'd play Leggett, and it's that he's got a cool name. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, I just messed up so bad. What the fuck? Yeah, I am 100% going to go with Tillman. 100%. I don't trust Watson really that much. I don't trust Rome that much. I don't trust Addison that much. I don't trust Leggett that much. Look, I get you got reamed last week, right? You got raw dogged. You got fisted by Tillman. But I think tonight he gets his lick back and plays better. I just, again, I can't make any justification for playing anyone over Tillman. Tillman's been a top 12 receiver in 3 out of the last 4 games. Sure, is this the best matchup ever for him? Of course not. Could he end up being a bust this week? Of course. But so could all of those other names. He is by far the safest name on that list. I would play him. So that's the way we're going. I would play Tillman. God damn it, bro. Yeah, I'd play Tillman. 1 hundo P. 1 hundo P. Playing Tillman. Next question. After Tillman. Yeah, again, Tillman's just the safest option by a quarter mile. By a quarter mile. What the fuck? Oh, that's why. I was wondering what I just did wrong. Broke motherfucking fiend. Do you guys, anyone else have brain rot? Listen to a bunch of brain rot music on TikTok. I would definitely go Tillman though. T-Man, thank you for the super chat. AR5 or drop him and pick up Russ Stafford or Stroud. In my opinion, if you're looking at things like, hey, Nick, I want to be as safe as possible, right? I want to make sure that my quarterback doesn't score 5 fantasy points and screws me, then you should be playing Stafford, right? If that's your thought process, I don't want to get screwed by my quarterback. You're going to play Stafford. But in my opinion, what's the point in that, right? What's the point in getting your 15 points from Stafford? Really, like, is that going to win you your week? No. Could it lose your week? Sure. If Richardson shits the bed and he has this terrible performance and he's a disaster, sure. But Richardson can single-handedly lift your team up. He can single-handedly put your team on his back. He can single-handedly score 30 fantasy points and be the sole reason why you win. So, in my humble opinion, I would be playing Anthony Richardson. Again, if you want to be safe, you want to be, oh, you know what? I want to be as safe as possible. I'm not going to argue against you and be like, oh, you're some pussy for wanting to do that, right? Go ahead and go with the safe option, right? If that's what you believe, if you want to be as safe as possible, be as safe as possible, play Stafford. I'm more risky. I am personally going to be playing Anthony Richardson. Alexis, thank you for the super chat. I have Tillman, Judy, Njoku, and more. Am I crazy? I don't think you're crazy for having them all. I think you are crazy if I guess technically you wouldn't be that crazy because the bye week if you had to play them all. But obviously, any given week, you're not going to be starting all three of those. You're not going to be starting Tillman, Judy, and more. You shouldn't be doing that. That is a huge risk. You're taking out a huge bet on the Browns. And it's not like, oh, I'm taking a huge bet on the prime Kansas City Chiefs, when they were in their prime, right? Oh, I'm taking a bet out on this elite Patriots offense from the past, right? No, you're taking a bet out on the Cleveland Browns. Now, again, in this game, I don't love it. In other matchups, it is better. I'd prefer not to have to play all of them, but I do think they're all valuable players. If your trade deadline still has not eclipsed, I would be looking to move one of those guys off of my team because this is going to create a very, very, very large discussion every single week for you in your own mind about, oh, who should I play? Should I play this Cleveland receiver? Oh, should I play both of them, three of them? And it's going to really create a lot of confusion for you when you don't really want that. You don't want to be super confused every single week. So I would definitely lean the way of, oh, fuck, my thing just froze. You guys still see me? Are we good? I don't know why I just did that. We're all good though. Yeah, I would definitely look to move one of them if you can. Preferably one of the receivers. I still think they're fine plays though. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, these are all bad players because we've talked about these guys all extensively. Most weeks, you're going to see 2 out of 3 of those wide receivers hit. It's just the problem is starting all 3 is incredibly risky, and knowing which 2 out of the 3 to actually start is also very, 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 very hard to do. But yeah, I would go Tillman. If I had to play 3 of them, it's Tillman, Judy, and Njoku personally. In my opinion. All right. All right. Time to put my lineups in. Next question. Thank you for the super chat, Noodles. Should I trust Hill, Flowers, and Debo? If not, I could try to put in Hopkins, McConkey, or Dell for one of them. I am personally going to. I would prefer to play McConkey over Debo. Now, McConkey might not play based on that. I'm going to drink some water because I don't know why my voice is messed up. Personally, I would play McConkey over Debo. McConkey has shown off a lot of consistency. McConkey has shown us that he's a good player, and he showed us that he could be reliable. Jalen Waddle, what the fuck was I about to say? Debo Samuel, he is incredibly risky. He's hot and he's cold. He's yes, then he's no. He's in, then he's out. He's up, then he's down, right? He's super inconsistent. There's a lot more consistency with McConkey. I like the matchup for McConkey as well. It's not like, oh, he's just this super safe play because, again, if you guys know me, you know I'm not the guy that's advocating for you to play the safest bets every single game. You got to go for some upside. But in this matchup, I am 100% playing McConkey over Debo Samuel. That's what I would do. Now, again, if McConkey is not able to go, which you will be able to probably know by Sunday, you would just leave Debo in. Like, I don't think Debo is this colossally bad play. Like, oh, you're playing Debo? What a fucking idiot you are. You got to play Debo. That's not how it is, but definitely prefer Lad over Debo. Fantasyland football watches you. He did one of your player songs, the Shakira one last night. He's not funny or the funniest. Thank you. I'm not too sure who that is off the top of my head, so I'm not going to take a shot at them personally, but that is funny. It also could easily be the same thought of singing the Shakira song is, hey, everyone knows that Shakira song. I'm probably also not the first person to call him Khalil Shakira because it literally is his name with just with an A at the end. But I do appreciate the kind words. I'm past my days of making fun of other fantasy analysts like as a joke because if someone made fun of me, I wouldn't care, to be honest with you. Like if someone came out and was like, "Oh, that notorious fantasy guy's a real asshole," it wouldn't offend me or anything. I would not care. But I'm not gonna say that personally. But I'm glad you like my videos. I appreciate that. Yeah, all the teams are on bye. It is rough. What's up, Nick? Don't have a question. Just want to say thank you. No problem. Thank you very much. Start Mike Evans or Kenneth Walker. I'm playing Kenneth Walker. My tribal chief. What's up? Pure Saul or Mike Williams? Chief, I don't think you should be playing. The Steelers DBs are good. Yeah, the Steelers have good defense. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, the Steelers defense sucks ass, right? I'm not lying to you guys. Some people don't have other options, right? This week is incredibly tough. When there are this many teams on bye, it's always going to be rough. And what doesn't make any sense is how the NFL does the buys. Because I'm pretty sure on Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving week next week, there are no buys. No one is on bye. But then the week after, week 14, I think 6 teams are on bye again. Why are the buys like this? It should just be like 2 teams or 4 teams every time. There shouldn't be a week where 6 teams are on bye. I think that's incredibly stupid and incredibly bad for the game because, again, I know not everyone watches Red Zone. Not everyone is like me watching Red Zone. They have 4 games on one TV. They've got a third TV to watch another game, right? Not everyone's watching football like that. I get it. But it is a bad product when 1 o'clock, there's 8,000 games being played, and then the clock ticks to 4 o'clock, and now there's 3 games, and you're basically guaranteed to pass out if you drank a little too much. So I am personally against the way the NFL schedules a lot of these things. I'm against the way the buys work, but what do they give a fuck about fantasy football? They really don't care. Pure Saul or Mike Williams, they're both risky. Let's be honest, they're both risky. Mike Williams might not get a single target. Mike Williams' snap count might not increase. But I do know one thing, though, and that's that Pure Saul's getting at least 2 targets and has the upside to get around 5. So I'm just going to go with the guy that I feel more confident in actually getting targets, and that's going to be Pure Saul. They both probably have the same upside. So I would go with the guy that I think is guaranteed to at least get me some points, even though I know Pure Saul didn't have neither of them had a great game last week. But I personally lean with Big Dick Ricky Purcell there. All right, Nick, full PPR, Waddle or Njoku for the flex. We're going to go Njoku, Chubb, Benson, Amir Abdullah for the running back 2. I would go Chubb. Yo, what up, brother? Should I start JMO over Tillman? Yes. I don't think we need to cut bait on Tillman. I don't think we need to panic on Tillman. I don't think we should be sitting here saying anything except for positive things about Cedric Tillman. But I also don't think we should be sitting here sucking the guy off in a matchup up against the Steelers in the cold. So that's just kind of my opinion on things. Start Chubb or Irving in the wet, snowy in Cleveland. It is wet, but it's not going to impact the game as much as you might think it will. I would 100% be playing Irving. 100%. JMO over Tillman. I agree. Need a running back. Wait, what's that? Need a running back, wide receiver, and a flex. Najee Harris, Metcalf, Lamb, Dobbins, Hubbard, McConkey. Great question. In a standard league, it's going to be Najee Harris, CeeDee Lamb, and it's going to be McConkey. Judy or Debo. I would be playing Debo again. Debo is incredibly risky. You probably knew that when you drafted him. If you didn't, I guess you just didn't really know how he's played in his career. He's historically very hit or miss. Even with the fact that Brandon Ayuk is hurt, he's still hit or miss. It doesn't have anything to do with his targets dipping or anything like that. He just isn't a very reliable wide receiver. He's a very talented wide receiver, though. I would play Debo over Judy. Hey, Nick, would you trade Jones for ETN and Bowers, or Reed and Dowdle for Bowers? Currently have Ingram. I think I would much rather do Reed and I would rather do Jones and ETN for Bowers. I don't think you need Bowers, though, if you have Ingram. But if that's a trade you're looking to make, I don't think either of those options are really all that bad of trades. It's kind of hard for me to get rid of running backs, multiple of them, to get a tight end. That's just kind of my thought process. But yeah, I don't think either of those are bad trades. I'm overthinking it with Tillman, Pop, or Ekaine. You're 100. If you're starting Pop Douglas or Ekaine over Tillman, you are 100% overthinking it. Even if my thought process doesn't work out, and say the Steelers just fucking absolutely clamp up Tillman, right? Tillman has the worst game you've ever seen. You're going to go to sleep just feeling disgusting if this goes wrong and you go the opposite way. So I'm just going with Tillman because it'll be significantly easier to sleep at night playing Tillman over playing like Pop Douglas or Ekaine. Debo or Tillman, team Tillman. NFL low-key knows fantasy rocks. They do know. But they also know betting rocks. They know all this stuff rocks, but they don't schedule it like they know these things, right? Because there should be no world where there's only 3 games on at 4:00. Now, maybe some of you guys like that, right? Because you can pay more attention to the individual games. But to me, it's like there's like this crazy dopamine hit at 1:00. There's 8,000 games. You're looking at 8,000 different things. So many people are scoring. There's picks, sacks. It's very exciting. And then like at 4, the game really, really, really slows down. But that's just my opinion. You guys could have a completely different opinion than mine, and I wouldn't argue with you. Great question here. Just making sure there's no more super chats because I don't want to miss any of those. Judy or Jameson Williams? It's got to be Jameson Williams. I love Jameson Williams. I love the talent the guy possesses. It's just so hard for me to truly plant my flag on him, even though I did in the offseason of really liking him. It's hard to plant the flag super hard on a week in, week out standpoint when you got a guy whose targets fluctuate so much. He's a guy that could see 3 targets. He could see 10 targets. Either way, I wouldn't be surprised, right? And that makes it very, 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 very tough to project him game in and game out. Terry, Evans, or Neighbors. The odd man out there is going to be Evans. Evans is coming off of a pretty serious injury. He missed multiple games. He's going to come back. He should be close to 100%, so I wouldn't think that like he's going to go out there and completely shit himself, right? But the team might look to, ease him in, right? They might not look to throw him out there to the dogs instantly. They might look to kind of ease him in. And if that is the case and they do ease him in, then he might end up being a disappointment in his first game back. Need a running back, wide receiver, and a flex. I think we already answered this one. Weather and effect for Pickens and Wilson. Again, I am not worrying about the weather. Everyone loves to panic about the weather unless there are insane winds or so much snow that you can't throw the ball, you can't see, right? And those are very far and few in between matchups. If you guys remember a couple of years ago, there was this whole narrative about the Jets going up against the Browns in Cleveland. It's cold, it's raining. Oh, this is a terrible game script. This is going to be an awful game. This, that, and the other thing. And then both teams scored 7 gazillion fucking points. So I'm not worried at all. Debo or Tillman? Debo. Should I start Najee Harris? My other running backs are Tracy, Bucky Irving, and Kyron Williams. I'm playing Najee over Bucky Irving personally. Smash that like button. Damn right. Collins or Pickens? I'm definitely playing Nico Collins. I am 100% playing Nico Collins. 100%. I know that he disappointed last week, so some of you guys are going to be mad at him. Oh my God, he screwed me over last week. It's just one game. He should have scored a touchdown, but they called it back because gas mask man Tunsil was an ineligible man down the field. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Would you play more? I don't want to play more, but yes, I would play him if I had to. But I'm not enamored with playing more. Lad McConkey or Otten? Lad McConkey. Nico Collins and Flowers. Yeah, that's correct. You got it correct. Like and subscribe. That's a fact. Like and subscribe. What's up? What's up? Lad or Flowers? Flowers. Flowers. I love Zay Flowers. I loved Zay Flowers in the summer. I loved him last year. I'm probably going to be out him again. Like, unless the Ravens bring in a legitimate threat to be a wide receiver too, that's not Rashad Bateman, Flowers is going to eat in most games. Now, again, he is at the mercy of Lamar kind of having a Lamar game where he just plays like absolute dog shit, kind of like up against the Steelers. And Flowers also isn't like this polished product, right? He's a second-year receiver. He had a bad drop in that game last week, but ultimately Flowers is the answer there. Jimmy, thank you for the super chat. When do you start upside over safe players? I'm projected to lose by 17.8. Who has the most upside? Jalen McMillan, Ricky Pearsall, Jalen Cocker, Adam Thielen, or Amir Abdullah? So, in my opinion, when you start really going away from some of these safe bets on your team is if you really think you're going to lose. Now, the fact that you're projected to lose doesn't mean you're going to lose, right? It doesn't. You need to look at it from your own perspective, right? You look at the matchup, you say, you know what? I don't think I have a good chance here. Now, when you're projected to lose by close to 20 points, that's not a great indication that your week's going to go well. Now, again, just because you're projected to lose by 17, you could win by 57, right? You could win by 30. You're not always going to lose if you're projected to lose. You're not always going to win if you're projected to win. But when you start really looking for the upside is when you're looking at your opponent, you're looking at your team, and you're like, you know what? I don't think my team has the facilities for that big man, right? I don't think my team has the ability to be able to smack in this game. I don't think my team can do it. Then you go for the most upside. So if you're talking about upside alone, the highest upside play on that list is Jalen McMillan. Jalen McMillan could go out there in a great matchup and score 20 fantasy points. Now, the biggest problem with Jalen McMillan is that he has not been able to catch. He's had a strong case of dropsies, and he hasn't been able to do much this season because of that. So he has the highest amount of upside, but he has a whole lot of risk. Abdullah, you say, oh, Zamir White doesn't play. Madison doesn't play. He is a safe bet, but with a lot of upside as well. So I would say those are probably your highest upside plays right there, McMillan and Abdullah. And if you're really trying to throw out a fucking crazy fastball, you could play Adam Thielen against the Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs matchup is rough. It is as rough as it gets. It could be a terrible showing. He could really shit the bed, but the upside in that matchup is significant just because Thielen could get peppered. Now, again, he's coming off of an injury, so I don't think that's going to happen. Again, if it's my team, I am going to play Amir Abdullah if Zamir White and Madison miss. If not, I am going to be leaning with the McMillan. Jairus Artist, thank you for the super chat. Pickens in the weather or Harrison Jr. I'm playing Pickens. Again, I'll say it again. I'll say it a million times. You're going to hear it a couple more times this season when we're talking about games in the weather. Don't panic about the weather. The weather is always going to make you panic. You're going to be, oh, the matchup or the weather is not looking the best. The weather. And you're going to talk yourself out of playing some players that you would normally start because, oh, it's a little bit cold, So don't worry about the weather. Rate my starting team. I like your starting team a lot this week, Tyron. I like it a lot. Fuck, I don't have a tight end in this league, which is so tough. Got to put Disley in now. And I don't have a fucking flex. I didn't get anyone off the waivers, so I got to wait and fix that later. I like your team a lot. Louis, let me answer this really quick. Najee or Jaden Reed? I would go with Najee Harris. I think Najee Harris is going to have a pretty respectable game. So I'd go with Najee Harris. I don't think Jaden Reed's going to shit the bed, but he has the upside to do so. So I'd go Najee. I just think he's so much safer. So much safer. So we're going to go Najee. And then in half PPR, getting that extra touchdown upside there. And then trade away Waddle, Stroud, and Garrett Wilson for Herbert, McLaurin, and a Dunze. Brandon, that is a very tough question. I would do it, though. I think the reason why I would do it, because Odunze has more upside than Waddle. McLaurin and Garrett Wilson are close to washes. And Herbert is 9,000 times better than Stroud. So if you're getting Stroud, McLaurin, and Odunze, I am going to accept that. I'm not going to sit here and bang my chest and be like, wow, that's the greatest fucking trade ever. Because I don't think it is. But I do think it is a good enough trade for you to be able to put up a solid game or to have won the trade. So, yes, I would say you win if you're getting Herbert, McLaurin, and a Dunze. Ever so slightly. Again, it's just really because Stroud has played so bad and Waddle's been so bad that kind of makes me want to go that way. Cup or CD rest of season. I would rather have Cup personally because of the injury. Jameis. Otten or Henry? Otten. Everyone make sure you guys smash that like button. Yes, sir. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Yeah, make sure you guys do check out Underdog Fantasy, promo code Notorious. Chubb or Dowdle? Chubb. Good luck, guys. Good luck, guys. Best of luck. Let's have a good one. Let us have a good one. My fucking team in our league, Spock, is so bad with Caitlin. Team is so down bad, bro. So down bad, guys. It's like almost shocking how down bad the team is. I want to trade DeAndre Swift for Mike Evans or Juwan Jennings. Should I do it and for who? I would be fine doing it for either of those guys. I'd prefer to get Evans though. But I don't think DeAndre Swift is like dead. So if you're like sitting there thinking like, oh, Swift's season is over, this, that, and the other thing after like a couple of not so hot games, I don't think that's the case. Yeah, I have to start Roshan. My team is cooked, bro. My team is fucking cooked. What's funny is this is the team I like the most that I drafted, and it's the team that's the worst. And the teams that I didn't like as much have been better. That just goes to show you, you're not going to win every single league. And I mean, I say that every year, so you guys should know that, right? You can't expect me to win every single time. I love Winston as well. Jimmy, Levis, DeVito, Young, Minshew. Who has the most upside? Levis. 100% Levis. Levis can run. He can pass. Now, he can do some crazy, stupid shit, but he can run a bunch. He can hurdle someone. He can do all types of crazy things. Levis, by far and away, has the most upside. Second highest upside's probably DeVito, then Minshew, then Young. But yeah, I would definitely go Levis. He 100% has the most amount of upside. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Tillman or Quentin Johnston? I would have played Quentin Johnston. Rest of the season, Jones or Stevenson? I would say Jones. I already answered this, but it's Metcalf. No, it's Lamb and it's McConkey. But again, thank you for the super chat. It's Levis with the highest upside. Exactly, dude. Everyone's beating my ass. I gave out too good of advice. That's true. That is true. But honestly, I'd rather... The thing about fantasy that I realized a while ago is I'd rather be where I am in this league in 11th rather than being in like 8th or 9th, and then you're just sitting there all summer like, oh, or all season. You're like, oh, I wish I could have been better. Like, I just know my team's dead in the water, so it's like much easier to accept. I still edit the lineup, obviously. But normally when you shoot for super high upside, you're really betting on things to go correct. Sometimes you end up just sucking. That's okay, though. You know, fantasy's a tough game. Good luck to everybody. I appreciate you guys all. Thank you, Spock. Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you, Tyron. Thank you for everyone being here. Appreciate you all. Myers or QJ? Myers. I love Winston as well. I hope you guys have a great one. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's game. I bet on the Steelers, so go Steelers. I'll see you guys on... Caitlin's obviously rooting for the Browns. I'll see you guys on the other side. Hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye. Peace.